Why is the person who tries the hardest always the one coming in last? It sounds strange, but the real reason you aren't succeeding might be exactly because you're trying too hard. We've been conditioned to believe that perfectionism is a virtue and that pushing harder is the only way to reach the top. But the latest neuroscience reveals a completely different reality. Your brain isn't a piece of hardware designed to run at 100% capacity 365 days a year. In fact, the moment you keep driving your brain to be perfect, you aren't being productive. You're executing a slow-motion biological suicide mission. Why do the world's most successful people look like they aren't even trying while everyone else is drowning in the swamp of effort? Why do the results you've been chasing so desperately suddenly appear the moment you stop caring? Today, we're going to perform a clinical audit of your internal wiring to reveal why living loosely is actually the high-performance strategy that will recover your life the fastest. Think about a high-end racing engine for a moment. What would happen if you kept that engine redlining for hours without a break? The metal would fatigue, the oil would break down, and eventually the entire system would explode. Your brain is exactly the same. When you obsess over every tiny detail, you're forcing the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, to handle a massive, unbearable burden. This constant pressure doesn't make you better. Instead, it triggers a phenomenon called neural throttling. Just like a laptop forces its speed down to cool off, your brain starts shutting down high-level functions to protect the hardware. You fool yourself into thinking you're working hard, but you're actually moving with your cognitive ability dropped by 13 points due to anxiety. Do you know why the best ideas always come when you're in the shower or staring blankly at a wall? It's because that's the only time you finally stopped trying to control the system. This is what I call the optimization trap. When you try to control every single outcome, your brain enters a state of deep fear. This fear activates the amygdala, the brain's alarm bell, and sends a constant threat signal through your entire body. In response, your cells enter a state called the cell danger response. In this state, the mitochondria, the power plants inside your cells, stop focusing on growth and pour all their energy into defense. The reason you can't be creative or strategic when you're trying too hard is that your cells believe you are currently under attack. You're waiting for a breakthrough, but that breakthrough is hidden behind a door that only opens when you stop banging on it. Could it be that your hard work is actually a form of biological self-harm that's destroying you? We now need to talk about the power of strategic slack. In mechanical engineering, a system without slack breaks under even the slightest stress. Human psychology is the same. Living loosely doesn't mean being lazy. It means conserving your cognitive energy so that when that 1% moment that actually matters arrives, you can fully unleash your hardware's capacity. Most people waste 90% of their energy on things that have zero impact on results, and then when the real opportunity comes, they're completely exhausted. This is a synchronization error. You're treating every minor task like a life-or-death battle, which means you have no burst capacity left for the actual fight that defines your life. Why are you spending $1,000 worth of energy to solve a $10 problem? This constant low-level fatigue eventually creates the burnout glitch. Because you are never fully on, you can never be fully off. You live in a permanent gray zone of medium effort and fake rest. To your brain, this is a never-ending emergency. It's like trying to drive a car with the parking brake engaged. You'll wonder why your life feels so frustrating and why you can't move forward despite all your effort. The answer is that you haven't sent the all-clear signal to your brain. You haven't proven to your hardware that it's safe to rest. Sovereignty over your life doesn't come from clenching your fist. It comes from knowing when to open your hand. So how can you apply this strategy of living loosely to your life? It starts with a concept called tactical underoptimization. You must consciously decide to do 80% of your tasks just enough. This isn't about lowering your standards, it's about protecting your precious cognitive resources. By being loose with trivial things, you're saving your high-performance hardware for the things that truly matter. You need to learn how to ride the waves of your energy. Short, intense focus must always be followed by total looseness without a shred of guilt. This is the only way to prevent the metabolic shutdown that ruins so many successful people. You have to prove to your cells that the predator is gone. Only then will the door to your true potential unlock from the inside. The tragedy of modern society is that we've turned being busy into a badge of honor, but being busy is actually just a sign that you don't know how to manage your hardware. We are the most stressed generation in history, yet we're not producing original work at the same rate as the past. We've forgotten that creativity requires a certain level of disorder and space. When you try to trap your life inside a perfect schedule, you are killing the very core of what makes you valuable. You aren't a machine. You are a complex biological system that lives through the rhythm of tension and relaxation. Stop trying to be a robot and start being a high-performance organism. The reason the world's highest achievers look like they aren't trying is because they actually aren't, at least most of the time. They save their 100% for the moments that define history. The rest of the time, they live loosely, cooling down their hardware and conserving energy. Don't think of your looseness as a flaw. Make it your most powerful strategic advantage. Reclaim your intelligence by giving your brain the space to actually think. The results are there, and success is already waiting for you. You just have to move yourself out of your own way. Your life is the most complex software ever written, but it can only run as fast as your hardware allows. Don't blame your personality for the exhaustion caused by perfectionism. Understand the system, change your strategy, and reclaim your sovereignty. Your brain was designed for greatness, but sometimes you have to let go of the wheel. If you want to keep debugging your reality, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. I'm the Wired Human. Stay strategic.